Copyleaks is no more reliable for detecting AI content.
Who else has had problems with
I just checked my grocery list on Copyleaks and snagged 5 pieces potatoes, 2 kg chicken, and plagiarized.
Is it true that Copyleaks is one of the most accurate AI detectors in the market? Hi, Jumbo. My name is Bonnie Joseph and welcome to one of the most exciting videos we've done. The question is, how accurate is Copyleaks? This is the reason why we're doing this research. You see, for the last 1 year or so, I've had quite a number of my clients ask me, have you used any AI to write this particular content? When I know that I have not used AI to write the content. But once the client passes the article through Copyleaks or any other AI detector, sometimes this content is flagged as AI generated. So I was wondering, is this issue affecting other writers? And I went through LinkedIn and Facebook and I found that this has been an issue amongst so many writers. So I thought, let me do an ultimate test to check the accuracy of Copyleaks in particular, because it happens to be one of the most popular AI detectors in the market right now. My hope is I'll be able to save you as the writer or you as the client by knowing how accurate or not this particular platform is. So this particular research took 3 people and about 20 plus hours to finish. So how accurate is Copyleaks? A point of clarification, in my earlier post I had indicated that I will do a research on how accurate is Copyleaks in detecting AI content. We made a slight twist because we were not only testing AI content. Instead, we did the test amongst 4 particular categories. One, we had 100 articles that were published on or before 2021. The second category is pure AI content. The third category is AI content that has been heavily edited, and the last content is human written content that has been written sometime this year or late last year. Okay, so are you ready for the results? Here we go. So the very first category, like we've seen, are the human written articles that were published on or before 2021. The sample size, like we mentioned, was 100 articles. Amongst the 100 articles, 94 of them were accurately detected as human written content, and only 6 of them were highlighted as AI content. This is very impressive because this is 94% accuracy by Copyleaks in detecting human written content, but not. These were the articles that were published way before any AI had hit the market per se. I must admit that this is quite impressive. 94% accuracy. The next category is purely AI generated content. Let me tell you how we did. These were the articles that we generated using mainly charts, and then we didn't do much. We didn't do much to the article. We just did some basic formatting, and then we passed the content through Copyleaks. The sample size was 50. Amongst the 50 articles, 32 of them were accurately detected as AI content. 15 of them were identified as partly AI. So parts of them had been highlighted as AI generated, and only 3 were identified as human written content. However, we cannot exactly say only, because this is very insightful that 3 articles that were purely generated using charts were identified as human written content. In terms of percentages, we can say that 64% of the content was accurately detected as AI content, while 30% was detected as part AI, and only 6% was detected as human written content. If we combine the content that was detected as AI content, pure AI content, and part AI, that is 64% plus 30%, will get 94%, the same percent that we had gotten in the early category. So this shows that Copyleaks had a 94% accuracy in detecting AI content that had been generated using chat. And this is quite impressive, I must admit. On to the third category, which is very, very interesting. These were AI generated content that we heavily edited. The sample size was 25, and interestingly enough, 20 of the articles were detected as human written content, and only 5% was detected as AI content. In terms of percentages, 80% of the articles that we generated using AI and then we heavily edited it was detected as human written content, and only 20% was detected as AI. This is very interesting because it means that you can actually generate content using AI and then heavily rewrite the article, add personalization, add tone, add your brand voice, and so on and so forth. You can add some bit of meat into the article, and that particular article will be identified as human written content. On to the last and possibly the most controversial category. These are the human written content that was written either this year or sometimes last year. The sample size was 20, and only 10 of the articles were identified as human content. The other 10 was identified as AI generated content. To be specific, 9 of them were identified as pure AI, while only 1 was identified as part AI. In terms of percentages, it means that of the 20 articles that had been written by actual writers, 50% of them were identified as AI generated content. Now, that is where we have the biggest issue in the market today, because it means that if you're a content writer today, 50% of the chances are Copyleaks will identify your content as AI generated. Why this is so, I'm still not sure. I was actually having a talk with my team and saying that this is an issue we should find a way to investigate further. What is it that in the content that has been written recently, what makes that particular content to be identified as AI generated when you're pretty sure that you've actually written the article from A to Z? You see? Very interesting. Okay, so basically that's it. I must admit that I'm very impressed by the very first 2 categories. The fact that it had a 94% accuracy in detecting human written content that was published before 2021, and purely AI generated content had a 94% accuracy. Also very intrigued by the fact that it had that 80% of the chances, if you heavily edit your AI generated articles, they will pass the AI detectors. So thank you so much for giving us your time and your attention. We highly appreciate it. I would love to know which other AI detector would you want us to review and analyze, and is there a way that you would want us to play with our sample size the next time. I would really appreciate your feedback, and thank you again for your time and your attention. We highly appreciate it. Peace out.